Hello everyone, welcome back to Cloudwings technology. In this video, I will teach you step by step and practical guide of Docker volumes. So what you will get from this video? So today you will get what are the volumes, why we need the volumes, what is the stateful container, what is the stateless container. So basically you will get the difference between stateful and stateless. These are very popular interview questions guys, right? So please watch this video till the end. And you will also have another question is what is ephemeral, right? So these are container related questions which is connected with the Docker volumes. Okay, so let's see what exactly the Docker volumes. So Docker volumes are used to persist the data which is generated by Docker container, right? So why actually we need the volumes, right? Why actually we need the volumes? To understand this, right? So I will make you understand and make your doubts clear absolutely, right? So you will have no doubt, right? So for that, here is your diagram. So let's see, understand what this diagram is telling us. So you can see volumes is used to store the data permanently, right? So the what is meaning? The meaning by saying volumes are used to store the data permanent, right? Right, because containers are ephemeral in nature, right? Containers are ephemeral in nature. Docker containers are isolated, right? What exactly the container is? I already taught you in the previous lectures what exactly Docker container, or we have also seen the life cycle of the container where we have learned what exactly the container. So container is what is, it is an isolated process, right? It is an isolated lightweight process, right? So Docker containers are short-lived object, right? So when the container get destroyed, right? When the container get destroyed, right? When the container get destroyed, data will be gone, right? Because of container use the ephemeral file system, right? That's why people call the containers are ephemeral in nature, right? Because of container, whatever data will be generated inside the container, the data is going to store where inside the container file, right? Because the container is using the file system. What file system container is using? Ephemeral file system, right? So that's why we can say containers are stateless, right? What is the stateless? The meaning of the stateless, right? Container, when the container got destroyed, data will be gone, right? That's what actually the meaning of the stateless, right? Data will be not stored permanently inside the container. So we need to store data permanently, but Docker container will store data inside the file system, right? So we need to make those stateful. How we can make those stateful, right? So the to make the container stateful, we have the volume concept. What we have? We have the volume concept, right? So guys, don't worry, I will show you practical. Just wait. It's a little bit about theory. So theory is also very important. If you understand the concept here, then you will definitely do able to the practical. Okay, so we have three types of volumes in Docker, right? Right, bind mount volume. Bind mount is the volume. What type of volume? Bind mount is a volume where, right, you can create your own directory on your device or your host machine. That path you can attach with the container path wherever the container having the data, right? Different container will be having different path, right? Second thing, you have the named volume. Named volume, as the name suggests, you will create a volume, you will give the name that volume, and you will map that volume with the container path, right? Right, this is most recommended way of using the volume, right? In industry you will see uh, we are mostly used with the named volume, and somewhere we will also use the bind mount also. Then third one is anonymous volume. The name suggests there is no name of the volume. If you will not give any named of your volume, Docker engine will manage itself that volume. For that, in Docker will create a volume like something, some name, some IDs, right? A random ID will be generated. So no, but it is not recommended for production. It is just for testing. If you will not give any volume name, that Docker engine, Docker daemon itself create it. Okay, so that is what about the Docker theory. So let's see, guys. We have to see the practical. So you will have the clarity. So we have the named volume, right? So let's see what is the my what images do I have. So yes, I already pulled these images because my internet is slow. That's it take time to pull. That's why I have already pulled that for you guys. So if you okay, let's we can take Alpine and we can go with MySQL. So I will first take for you guys MySQL, right? This is going for a database deployment where you will learn how we will store data permanently inside the volume. Even though container get destroyed, then also your container will be having the data, right? So let me see what volumes I am having, right? These are the anonymous volumes. Okay, these are the anonymous. As of now, there is no custom named volume. Okay. So I will first I will show you the problem. What exactly the problem? I will run Docker MySQL container, right? So I already taught you guys all the Docker commands, network Docker about the port mapping, tagging, and how we can go inside container, how we see the information about the containers and container lifecycle. All these things we have already learned in the previous lecture. So please, if you haven't watched so far, go and watch those. Okay. So now how we can give the name, right? I want to run MySQL, right? And I want to give it a name. Okay. MySQL, I'm giving the name, and I want to run what image? MySQL, right? But this MySQL image is requires some environmental variable, right? So environmental variables are what? At the runtime, the Docker container, right? This MySQL container is need this environmental variable in order to run this image successfully, right? So you can pass like this. So we will give the MySQL underscore root password, right? I'm giving this password as an admin. Okay, admin. Okay, so here you can see I'm giving the Docker run command. Run command will check. Okay, I already told you run command will check on your local system image is available or not. If the image is not available, then only it will go to the registry, and from that it will pull and it will create the container and it will start the container, right? We have already learned about the Docker architecture. If you haven't watched so far, go and watch that video. You will get more clarity about that. Okay, so then I give my container name is MySQL and I'm giving some environmental variables, right? So MySQL root is password. This is my default root database, and MySQL password I'm giving here as an admin, right? So then I will run this image, right? Let's see what exactly the issue without the volume. I'm running this without volume. Docker error response from the daemon conflict container name MySQL is already in use. Okay, so first I think Docker rm hyphen MySQL. I'm going to remove this container. So then I will run, right? Yeah, so our container get created and I will go inside container. I will write some data. Then I will delete the container. Then I will show our data will be persist or not, right? Then only you will have understand the main purpose of the volume. So what is how to go inside the container? Okay, or how, right? So I will use the Docker execute and I run it MySQL, right? So and this is what my image container name, and I want to go directly inside this, and then I want to connect. What I want to connect? I want to connect my MySQL container, right? Client. So I will go inside the client, right? So what is the user of MySQL? Root. Root is what? Default user. then I need to give the password. What password I have given? Admin password I have given. Yeah, right. After doing this, we are successfully come inside the CLI. Which CLI? MySQL client, right? So here we can see show databases. Guys, as a DevOps engineer, as a cloud engineer, you no need to learn about MySQL, right? But I already from the background, I'm a developer background, so I'm having good knowledge of the MySQL as well. Okay, so yeah. So what databases are available in my local? Nothing, right? Whatever databases you are able to see, these are the default, right? So I will create one database and will show you how our data will be lost, right? So create database. I'm going to create first IBM DB. I'm going to create IBM DB. So yeah, and show databases. So you will see, yeah, IBM database has created. So now let me go outside this containers. For that, I'm going to exit the container, and I'm also exit from the container, and from now let me show the container is running or not. So as of now, the container is running, right? Container is running, right? If I go inside the container again, so you will see the data is present, right? So how to go inside the container? Simple. I will go directly. Okay, so hyphen password is what? Admin. So you will see we are is not allowing, I think. Yeah, so we are in come directly, we are in where MySQL databases, right? So inside client I will fire show data basis, right? You will see our data base name is present. That means data is not lost as of now. But now let me show you the another behavior of this. The moment I will delete the Docker container, right? Right, Docker container, this will we will lose our data, right? We will lose our data. Docker, and I want to remove the container forcefully. What is my container name? My container name is what? MySQL. The moment I press, the container will be deleted, exited from the live. It's live, right? Actually, my throat is burning today, guys. So yeah. So you can see container is completely exited from where? My life cycle. Okay, from the container life cycle, container has destroyed as of now, right? Now I will run this container again and we'll see the data is present or not, right? So I'm using the same name, everything, and I will connect this by using this and again. And yes, it is not going to connect root admin. Password is an admin. I think we need to give the admin. It is not my MySQL and root. Let me give the admin. Yes, so let me show the databases. Show databases. Yeah, so data has lost, right? So data has lost, right? So what we have do as of now, right? So I have created one container, right? I have created one container, right? And then I create a database inside a database, right? I have created one database inside. Then after that, we have destroy this data, this container, right? So this after destroying this container, data, whatever data inside the container with the database, with this container, data will be lost because the container is using ephemeral file system. Whatever data we have stored, the data has also gone when the container has gone, right? Because of that data has lost. Because of that data has lost. So we need to make, right? We need a solution, right? We need to make this data stored somewhere from there apart from the container life cycle, right? So I will do one thing. I will having one volumes, and I will having containers. I will make this container as a persistent by using this, right? So whatever data this time I will generate it inside the container, the data we are going to store where inside the volume, inside the volume. If data is present inside the volume, right? Because now this volume data is going to store apart from the container lifecycle. If the container had destroyed, if the container had destroyed, right, then also our data, then also data will be present where inside the volume. And from that same volume I can create another container, right? And I can attach this volume to this container. Then we will see the data is present or not. With this setup, you will be see your data is will be still present. Okay. So let's see the behavior, right? So let's see the behavior of this. So you will see we have the Docker. Yes, right. So as of now, our MySQL is running, but no volume has attached with this, right? So I'm going to stop the MySQL container, right? Yeah, I have stopped this. Now with this, I want to attach a volume. So first, I'm going to take the named volume example. First, I'm going to take the named volume. So first, I will create here. I will create one named volume, right? This volume name I will give like we can give this my SQL underscore data, right? This name I will give to the my volume. This is what volume name, right? This is my volume and this is volume name, right? And this volume I am going to attach with the this volume I'm going to attach with my container, right? This volume I'm going to attach my container. So what is my container path? So my container path is here var lib and data MySQL, right? So MySQL, this is my SQL container path, right? So at this path, right, whatever data will be generated inside the container, their data I will store inside the volume. So let's do this entire scenario, right? So you will see what exactly the behavior. So to create Docker a volume, so we have the command Docker volume ls to see the available volumes, and to create, we will create a new volume my SQL underscore data, right? This volume I'm going to create, right? So here you can see Docker volume ls. Yes, MySQL has created, right? You can see MySQL data named volume has created. Now this named volume I will attach with my SQL container. So Docker run hyphen d, I want to run inside background, and hyphen name, I want to give a name MySQL, and I will give the volume. What is the my volume name? MySQL data, right? MySQL data. What is the default directory for MySQL where data will be stored inside the container? So this is the location var lib and MySQL, right? MySQL, right? This is where the data is going to store, and we are binding this with this, right? Then we need to give the environment, right? So environment is MySQL underscore row underscore password, right? Right, what is the password? I want to give the admin password, right? And for which image? MySQL, right? Do you want to give the tagging? No, latest I'm using. So if we will not give any tag, it will take the latest, right? We don't need to provide the port number as of now, right? So yes, I'm going to run this, and this time I will create a database and I will delete this container, and I will show how data will be the persist. right? So you will how we can go inside the container. So docker exit hyphen it. This is the command, and my container name is MySQL, and inside MySQL I want to go the bash, and here I want to connect with MySQL client. So what is the host name? Root, and what is the password? Admin, right? So the password name I will type here, yes, and I will show you data basis, right? So default databases I'm getting, so I will create my own database, right? And IBM DB, right? IBM DB I have created, right? And I will show you databases. Yeah, IBM database has created. You can see here, this is our own data, right? This is what our own database, right? Here you can see IBM DB has created. Now I want to destroy this container. Exit from this container and exit from this CLI, sorry, and exit from this container, and you will, I'm going to remove this container completely. Okay. Hope you are getting this point, guys. So we have removed the container, docker ps. Yes, no MySQL container is running. Now I want to show you the behavior of the volumes, right? Docker volume, and I will show you the uh, how this behave. So this is what command we are using to create again to run our container, and I'm using the same volumes, right? So in order to get the same data, right? So whatever data will be present on inside the volume, the data our MySQL will be used right here. Yeah, and again I want to connect with this. So here same command I'm going to use. Okay, so docker execute MySQL, and here I want to go MySQL hyphen u and root and hyphen p, and here I'm giving the name, and then we will give the password. Admin is my password, and I will show you the database. So we are expecting whatever the IBM database that we have created, right? So that database should present, right? Database databases, yeah, yes. So guys, have you noticed, if you notice, although we have deleted our container, then also we have database present, right? So what I have done as of now, understand this, I have created one volume, right? This volume, this, and I have created one container. This volume I have attached earlier with this, right? Then I have deleted this, this then I have deleted, I have, sorry, let me see how we can back this. Yeah. So I have created one volume and I have created one container. This, with this container I have attached volume, right? I have attached this volume, right? Then I have detached the volume and remove the container, right? Right. Then again I have run the container and attach the same available volume with this, right? So whatever data that we have created inside the volume earlier, that data should present, right? So that's why we are getting this IBMDB, right? Let me show you. Are you able to see what we have achieved, right? So this is what exactly the named volume, guys. This is what exactly the name volume. So hope you have understood the concept. If you are having any doubt of the related to named volume, please tell me. I will tell you, right? So now next we have to understand the mount volume, right? Which volume? Mount volume. So how, for mount volume is used to store data on your host machine, and for your host machine we will create one directory, and of that directory path we will map to the container path. Okay, so let's see of that examples. And so docker ps, first let me see container is running on it. Okay, this is running, so I will remove this container first, right? Docker, okay, remove hyphen f MySQL, yes. So basically, this command is used to remove the container forcefully, right? Then we need to create on my directory. I will create one directory, MySQL database, MySQL data, right? So mkdir MySQL and store. I will give it store, right? MySQL store, right? So this is the host directory, right? This is the host directory, MySQL store, right? And I will show the present working directory. This is what the present working directory. Okay, so I will go back and now I will run the Docker. So you hope you have understood the why we actually need the volume. Now I'm directly going to do the practical of the mount volume. So I'm not going to show you the what exactly the volume, right? Because when I already shown you. So here I'm going to directly map the mount volume, right? So Docker and run, right? I want to run which image? MySQL -d MySQL, right? So I want to run this, right? But along with that, I want to give a name and MySQL, and I want to give the volume, right? So the volume host path is where host path is what on the my root directory we have created one MySQL underscore store, right? So MySQL underscore store, this is my host directory where I want to store all the my volume data, right? Then here this and my container path is what var slash lib slash MySQL. This is my container path where from this path, whatever data will be created inside the MySQL container, that data will be stored inside this directory. From this directory, we are going to store our data inside this host directory, right? So this will make our data permanent, right? This will make our data permanent. Okay. So we have gave our name and I'm running detach mode. So let me start this container. Just so the moment we have started the container and so volume has connected. Now let me see that, right? Docker execute -it and MySQL and also MySQL and -u. What is the root? Root is the database name and password. And password I'm going to give the Docker execute -it MySQL and here also we need to give the admin not running. Response from the daemon container is not running here. Okay, let me see. Docker ps. First, let me see the container. Why container is not running? Okay, container is not running. Docker run hyphen name. So container, why container is not running? This is my the volume name -d name MySQL. We have given there and volume. Volume also we have given word and image name is MySQL. So something went wrong. Let me remove this first. Then we'll see what happened actually. Container is running good. First I will check. Container is not running. Why? Container is not running. Why? Docker ps-a. Let me see. Store images already is there. So let me remove this again. Let me show this. Container is going to start, but not. What happened actually? Let me see the Docker. Let me go the Docker run and MySQL container name. I want to run in detach mode. I want to give the name MySQL and I want to give the volume. So volume is MySQL underscore store and storage path is what var lib and MySQL. This is the path, right? And MySQL latest container I'm going to run. So let me go to run. Just Docker container is running, but why? What happened, guys? What is the problem? I'm not getting the answer. Let me see it again. So we'll see the what is the present working directory and what is the Docker ps This is running. The issue is what we are doing wrong, guys. Docker ps hyphen a container created in 36 seconds and exited. Okay, so the container is going to create it, but it's immediately going to exit it, right? It is not going to. Okay. Okay, don't worry, I will fix it. It. So first I will remove the docker hyphen for MySQL. It will going to remove. Okay, and I will run this, right, and let me see. Still it's going to exit it. What is the issue, guys? What is the issue? Okay, I understood what exactly the issue. Okay, I understood. So I understood the issue. Actually, we are not passing the environment variable. That's why we are getting this issue. First, I will remove this. Okay, then we will try to run again. Here we have the volume, and after volume, we need to give the environmental variable, right? So MySQL underscore root underscore password, because of we are getting the issue, right? Because of this we are getting the issue, right? Yes, we have run the container. Let me see. Yeah, MySQL container is running. Okay, so container is running now. Let me show you the container. Yes, running. Okay, so now we need to create a database, and we'll see the database available on node where MySQL is stored, right? So I will go inside the container. So how we can go inside the container? We have this command to go inside the container directly. You can give this, and I will give the password admin, right? Yes, we are inside the container, and I will show you the database, right? As of now, there is no databases. We are going to create a database, right? So I'm going to create a database. Create database. My database name is going to IBM DB, right? IBM DB. Create database IBM DB. SQL syntax error. It is saying SQL syntax. I think something CRE create database IBM DB. You have an error in MySQL syntax. This is okay. Database IBM. What happened, guys? Create database IBM DB. Yes, we have created database. Now let me show the databases. Yes, IBM database has created, and I want to store some user data inside the database. So I will also going to create table, and this table name is going to users, and I will give inside the ID. ID type is int, auto increment primary key, right? And also I will store the name varchar, and its length 50. I'm going to give it. Okay, database, no database selected. So okay, so we need to use IBM underscore DB. Yes, we have changed the database. We have created the table. I want to insert some data inside the data. Insert into users, and I will give the ID. And no need to give the ID, just give the name and value. What value? I'm going to give Jamie. Okay, so just we have insert the Jamie, and also I want to add the Lily. So we have inserted two records, and I want to show you. Select name from users, right? So you will see, yeah, we have the names Jamie and Lily that we have inserted inside data base, right? So even though we have the expected behavior that we want, although we have deleted the container, then also data should be the data should be the present, right? That is what behavior we want to get from this after implementing this volume, right? So I want to go and delete this container docker ps. You can see the container is running, and I want to remove this container completely, right? First, container has removed, right? So data should be lost, but we have implemented the volume, so data should not lost, rather than data should be present inside the container, even though I will attach another container with that. So I will show you the here my directory where we have stored the data. Data is coming or not, first we will confirm, right? So let me ls-l and data is present or not. So we'll see. Okay, let me go first inside and you will see, yeah, everything is coming here. That means you can see our database also present inside this. What was our database name? IBM. You can see the IBM database is here, right? This is here. Okay. So now I will start the container again, and I will show you the actually the behavior, right? So I will start the container again, and yeah, this was the command: docker run name mysql volume mysql store var lib. Okay, so okay, this is what actually the command to run the container, and will connect inside the client, mysql client. To go inside mysql client, this is the command I will use. Okay, and I will show databases. Yes, IBM is there. I will use the IBM, and I will show you the exactly the behavior, right? And I will select name from users. Okay, so from hota hai, this is from, not from users. Yes, we have the data still present. Although we have deleted and restart the container, then also we have the data, right? So this is what actually the behavior of the Docker container volumes. Okay, so hope you have understood Docker named volume and persistent mount volume. So here what I have did, what I have done here, I have created one directory on my local, right? And I created a container and map this container with this local path. Whatever data will be generated inside that container, the data will be as it is stored inside the volumes, right? If I destroy the container and create another container and attach the same volume, then also whatever the data will be present inside the volume, the data is present inside the where container. So that is what how we make the a container stateful, right? So two types of volume we have understood as of now, and last one is what named anonymous volume, right? So anonymous volume is very simple and quick and straightforward. I will show you the one example. If you are not going to create the docker, let me show you the docker volume, right? So if you are right, so we have these are the volumes, right? So when we create docker volume and volume name, this is called named volume. When we create a directory on our local system and attach the directory to the container path, that is called bound mounting, right? Bind mounting. And if we are not create any any volume, right, then docker will itself manage a volume and will create a anonymous volume, right, for that. So let me show first docker container is running or not running. So I want to stop this completely for MySQL. Okay, so we have stopped the container. Now I want to show you the example of the anonymous, right? So here I will not going to give any name to the container, right? If we are not giving any name, right, directly we are giving the path, then it will manage itself and it will create a new volume, right? So you will see the behavior, right? You will see the behavior definitely, yeah. So container has started and volume also has created. This is called the anonymous volume. So anonymous volume we are not going to use because it is not easy to remember and easy to manage, because you can see that this random string, random name, random ID is created for each volume, which is not recommended in highly. Just it is recommended for testing, quick testing. You can see. So yes, container is running, right? And I will show you the Docker volume. Inspect, and the volume name is what? We have no volume. We have no volume, then how we can inspect, right? Okay. So actually, this is the anonymous volume, guys. So in case of the anonymous, let me tell you. Here I will make you more understand. So if you have the named volume, right? So named volume means named volume requires an absolute path, right? Wherever you have created your own volume, that volume path you have to give to, and your that path should bind to your container path, right? And what advantage? Direct host container files can be synced, right? This is what the benefit. So it is highly recommended for development, production environment, right? Anonymous volume is what? This is on your local and your device, your computer, you are going to create one directory. That directory you are going to bind with the container path, right? So, but this is the unnamed storage, right? Sorry. I'm sorry. So anonymous volume, right? So you are not going to give any name, right? Docker will create a name. You will give path like this, and these are called unnamed storage, right? So there is no name for your storage, right? So whatever data you will be stored, right, the data will be going to stored inside the anonymous volume, right? So if you want to use that, reuse that volume, you have to trace that, right? So it is not easy to trace and manage that. That's why it is not recommended, and it is just for testing purpose. Okay, nobody is going to use in production and development as well. And then we have the bind mount. Bind mount will require your host directory in your computer, in your PC. You are going to create one directory, and that directory you are going to map to the container path, right? So here you can see it is also requiring the absolute path, just like the named volume, right? And it will store directly the data of the container, right, inside your host path, right? So this is highly recommended for development and production environment, right? Also, just like the named volume, right? So the difference between the named volume and bind volume is what? Right, name volume will be managed by the Docker container itself. Bind mount will be managed by us, right? And the location and bind the data will be stored in our local, whatever directory we have created. In the named volume, the data will be stored inside the Docker managed directory. Okay. Hope you have understood today's concept, and you have also understood the practical. Guys, if you like this video and you feel we are giving a lot of effort making this video, please like and share and subscribe this video, because we are giving a lot of efforts to make you understand better and better. If you like and subscribe our channel, you will get the motivations. And if you having any query related to the content, you can comment, we will resolve that. And you can also comment me, I will take uh, one to one. If you're having any doubt, right, if you are stuck somewhere, you can mail me, you can comment me, we will connect one to one. Okay. So thank you for watching this video, and we will meet tomorrow with networking, and we'll end this series. And after ending this series, we will start the Docker projects, right? So after doing that project, you will be master, right?